So in this business, I'm realizing that there's some things that I'm talking about that some people just don't know what I'm talking about, and I'm kind of taking it for granted that I know these things. So I wanted to go over just one real quick. Especially a lot of people in Canada have been asking me this specific thing, like, what does double barrel frame tent mean? And I say double barrel, so does a lot of people. It can also be called twin tube as well. It's basically just a thicker tube, double. Um, I have pictures right here. I'll show them in a second. But basically, let's take a 20 by 20 double barrel. Each one of my poles is 19 feet 6 inches long. So you can make poles longer and more sturdier. We can do pull-ups in the center of it and it won't bend. So a 20 by 20, frame tent with the high peak. We call them high peak in my area of the country. I think in Canada they call them marquee tents. But so we call them high peak. And so a 20 by 20 high peak frame tent only needs 4 perimeter poles, 4 corners. There's no legs every 10 feet. There's just a 4 every 20 feet. So the whole thing just has less pieces. If you have single barrel, you usually have the 4 corners, and you usually have a middle pole every 10 feet. I've seen some single barrel where there's the perimeter poles. You have 8 of them, and then they join together at the center with no leg, but there's like a connector piece so that you can fit them in your trucks and trailers. But if you have the double barrel, you got way less pieces, cuts down installation time. I'd say about by 25%, maybe sometimes more. Now let's take a 20 by 30. Same thing. There's a leg every 20 feet, except for on the 30-foot side, there's a leg every 15 feet. So the two 30-foot sides have a 15, a 15, same thing on the other side, 15, 15, and a 20, 20, 20. And it's only got poles at the corner and at the 15s. And now last one, a 20 by 40. It's got all 19-foot 6 poles. There's only 6 connector pieces and 6 legs. So I believe if you had that in single barrel, it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 legs and a whole lot more connector pieces. So that's one of the main advantages with double barrel. You just got way less pieces. The disadvantage is they're long, and you gotta either have them sticking out the back of your truck with a flag on them, or you gotta have a long enough truck or ladder rack or something. So let me show you a quick picture between the single barrel and the double barrel. So this is from Eureka. I got their thing in the mail the other day. This would be single barrel, and this is double barrel. These, I have seen these 20 feet long and whatever, but they do flex. This 20 foot long does not flex. And like I said, less pieces for the tent. Now Eureka has some other crazy things. This one's called Twin Tube Heavy Duty. This is for like larger tents. And then this is called Keeter, and I'm going to do a whole different video on this. This is a great style tent for like 30 wides and up, because you set up the frame and then the vinyl slides into here and goes up and over. So we have a 30 by 60 frame tent where we set up the frame. It's kind of like this. Like it's the kind of like these flat end tents. The vinyl just slides up and over instead of you having to drag it. It goes in that channel, and then the whole thing just slides up and over instead of doing like a tug of war kind of thing. So that's just a quick video, because I know that there's been some confusion between double barrel and single barrel, and then it gets even crazier with once you get into structures, the things are square or rectangular and a lot more sturdier. Then there's Keeter, there's single barrel Keeter, and then there's double barrel Keeter, there's box Keeter, and then there's a whole bunch of things, and it all just depends on what you're doing. If you're doing huge tents, you definitely need heavier duty frames. If you're doing big frame tents, I also say that Keeter is always the best. And then we only do single barrel and 10 by 10 tents. Everything 15 by 15 and up frame tent is double barrel. So that's just what we have that more readily accessible in the USA. I know it's not as easy to get in Canada, But that's just a quick video. You got more questions on these? I will definitely go over these more if you have more questions, because there's a lot that you can go over in just frame tents. But thanks for watching.